What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Or tonight, whatever time you guys are watching this. This isn't going to be a long video. I just wanted to put like a reminder out there or something. So the other day, my friend JP was chilling at my crib. We were, hanging out. And we were talking about some stuff. And he was telling me how he just randomly said it. He was like, idle minds are the devil's playground. And I was like, whoa, say that again? He said it again, and I was like, yo, I haven't heard that in forever. But as soon as he said it, it sunk in. And, I had other little things clicking in my brain. And I'm like, yo, it's so true. I can't believe I've even forgot this phrase. So, idle minds, the devil's playground is like a proverb from the Bible. Now, I'm not particularly a religious person. I do believe that religious texts, such as the Bible, the Quran, they have a lot of wisdom in it. Without a shadow of a doubt, these are books that people have been following for thousands of years. There's obviously truth to it, whether you're religious or not. But that one really hits home for me because what it basically means is when you have too much time on your hands, you're more likely to get in trouble. And to me, it's such a true statement. I'm getting older now, but I'm not out here doing dumb stuff. I work 60 hours a week. I barely have idle time or idle mind, idle time, whatever. I barely even have that. But even the time I do have, I try to spend in a productive way. I'll try to do this YouTube thing, once a week, twice a week. I'll make a video. I try to do an interview, but it's too true of a statement for me. Okay, so when I was growing up, I was raised just by a single mother. I didn't really know my dad. I met him when I was 19. And by the time I turned 11, 12, I was old enough. My mom was like, you're good to be in the crib by yourself. And I guess I was what you call a latchkey kid, something like that. I had my own key to the house, and I started getting into trouble when I was about 15, 16. Now, nothing crazy. I made it my entire life without, having a record and all this other stuff. But I used to do a lot of dumb stuff when I was younger. And, when I say younger, I mean even okay. So, now, kids, when they have too much time on their hands, they're more likely to get in trouble. I think we all know that, but I love that phrase, idle minds are the devil's playground, or idle hands are the devil's workshop. It's such a true statement because when kids need an outlet to express themselves, kids, teenagers, young adults, they need some type of positive outlet to express themselves. When they don't have that positive outlet, like a hobby, a job, something, they're more likely to turn to the streets or to turn to wherever. And this goes for inner city kids. There's a lot more to do in the city, but there's also a lot more trouble to get in. Suburban kids, rural kids, they definitely have nothing to do. They're bored. Don't sleep on the country kids, man. They're out there getting into trouble too. So my whole point in making this video is to it's like a little reminder. Just make sure, if you're a parent, make sure your kids have something to do. Try to find what your kids' interests and hobbies are early, and always support them no matter what. Always, always, always. Whether you agree with it or not, as long as it's positive, do anything you can to help them pursue that. Even if 6 months, a week, a month, whatever, their hobby changes. Cool. If it's not doing drugs, it's not outside on the street, on the block, if it's not, out partying, drinking, whatever, then support it. Do what you can to support it. Because this is the next generation we have growing up right now. And, as I get older, I start to realize, these kids, most of them don't have guidance, but lots of them just have too much time on their hands. As parents, I'm not a parent, so I can't really give too much parenting advice. But as a parent, remember how you were as a kid. I'm sure a couple of you got a few smiles and a few like, oh man, like, and if you don't, then you're not remembering yourself correctly. Now, I'm not saying everyone that's watching my show is a criminal or is getting into trouble or whatever, but keep it real with yourself. When you were a kid, you think you were smarter than these kids? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I call cap. I say that's not real. I say you guys are just not remembering yourselves correctly. For the ones who like, oh, yeah, you know, that was me. Well, then try to remember that. And try to, you know, have some empathy for these kids. Because, yeah, you know, these are your kids, right? You want them to succeed in life, right? If they have a hobby, help them pursue it. You know, if they're too young for a job, give them something positive to do. Anything. And that means starting by supporting their ambitions, their goals, whatever, from a young age. Now, to the kids, teenagers, young adults watching this, you're not going to listen to me. If you're out there in the streets, you're out there doing whatever you're doing, you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to, like, what? Oh, some dude on the YouTube said that, you know, this, and this, and oh, I'm a changed man now. I know it doesn't work like that. But while you are out there doing whatever you're doing, just keep it in the back of your mind. You're most likely doing this because you just had too much time on your hands from a kid. And then, you know, it's a snowball effect. Now, there's a million other reasonings. Like, there's so many other possibilities. So I'm not just saying, oh, the kid was... And this isn't another way to justify crime. So I'm not just saying, like, oh, the kid was bored, so he had the right to go do a whole bunch of stuff or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's important that we give these... Just remember, even as adults, if you have... Just remember that, you know, idle minds is the devil's playground. But even as the adults, let's say you have negative habits, you have negative whatever. Let's say you're a recovering addict, or you're just getting out of jail, or I can't really give too much advice on that. I never, you know, but you just did a long stint and now you gotta, you know, get back into society. Just remember, don't have too much time on your hands. You're more likely to slip back in your ways. It just is what it is. And if always find productive, positive ways to fill your time, to do things to fill your time. Like, don't... I mean, look, I work a lot, so I don't have much time. But even the times I do have, I try to do something positive with it. I try to do this YouTube thing. I like to write poetry. I write poetry a lot. I like to do that. I try to just do something to where I'm not bored. It might sound crazy to y'all. I mean, it's you know, idle minds is the devil's playground, or idle hands is the devil's workshop. Both of these are the same thing. It's the very old sayings, but they're very true sayings. It doesn't even have to be the kids, the adults. You got too much time on your hands, you're a recovering addict. It's like you're already multiplying your chances of going back to that, you know? So that's really my video for today. It's not going to be crazy long, obviously. I should be doing an interview this weekend. I was supposed to do one last week with someone else, but I got really sick. I couldn't do it. So I'm doing a different one this week, and hopefully I'll be able to redo the last one next week. I'm going on vacation soon. I'll be gone for 2 weeks from the 23rd to the 4th or 5th. So I might do something while I'm down there. I might film me and my friend that I'm going to see in North Carolina talk and BS and hang out, ask each other dumb questions or whatever. But yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to give a nice reminder to anyone watching that idle minds is the devil's playground. It's a very true statement. Fill your time with something positive. And yeah, this is Wavy Thoughts and Talks. Stay safe, everybody.